powerful would you be if at any given moment, under any challenging or difficult situation you may face, that you could motivate yourself to meet and accept and exceed that challenge? Yeah, that's powerful. That's independence. And you can have that a lot sooner than you may think. Today, with this episode 10 of my Words of Wisdom, I'm going to show you exactly how to become a powerful, self-motivated individual. I'm going to share a story with you of a client I had that was facing a very difficult situation within her career and how we overcame that and where she is now. I'm also going to read a lesson from my 7 books of wisdom. You're going to love it. Another question for you. From 1 to 100, what's the most powerful number? Actually, let's look at it as percentages. So from 1% to 100%, what's the most powerful number? You might think it's 100, right? It's the biggest number. There's no holes in it. It means everything. Yeah, it's a big number, but it's not the most powerful. The most powerful number is 1%. Here's why. It's the number with the highest volatility. Yeah, man, it can change on a dime. It's also the number with the biggest potential to grow. Okay? The idea is to manage that number. We got to manage that 1%. What happens is when we face adversity, we often think we got to fix everything, and things start stacking up on us. We think we got to fix the whole thing. My friends, we got to start with 1%. That's where we're going to start, and that's what's going to get us there. Now, there's 2 different scenarios. The first scenario is, how do we manage the 1% when a lot of negative things are happening to us? It's not fun. We got things that are every other day or every day, they're really stacking up on us in a negative way. It's not fun. I'm going to teach you how to manage the 1%. In the other scenario, it's when everything is going great. Yeah. And then something pops up that tries to interfere or knock us off our course. How do we manage that 1%? Let's do it. You're going to love it. Let's manage the 1% during tough times. Here's how you do it. You may be having a bad day. You may be having a bad week or a bad month. I mean, man, every single thing is stacking up on us. It feels like nothing's going right. And therefore, what happens? Well, we're human. We lose our motivation. However, this is where we can manage the 1%. We have to develop. We have to create the 1%. And man, it's hard. I know it is. You're feeling like you don't want to do anything. Your motivation is the last thing on your list. Well, this is when you become powerful. This is an opportunity. So we got to manage the 1% by creating 1% positivity. We don't have to fix everything. Let's just create 1% positivity. Here's how you do it. It's so powerful. Go up to a coworker. Tell them, hey, looking good. You know, you're looking healthy. Give somebody a compliment. Smile and take it a little further. Ask them how they're doing. How are things? How are your goals? Are you setting goals? Ask them basically how their life is. And when they say, oh, I'm good, how are you? This is where you got to become strong, because it's not about you right now. It's about them. It's about you becoming the leader, you setting the example, you leading the way. That's how you create the 1% positivity. You say, I'm fine. How are you? I want to know about you. My friends, when you can do that, when you can motivate someone else, when you don't feel like motivating anybody, the power switch just got flipped on. Because if you can motivate somebody when you're at your bottom and you don't feel like motivating anybody, how good can you be when you're feeling great and when things are going really good for you? That's right. Pick up the phone, call someone, call a friend, a family member, somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. Ask them how they're doing, even when you don't want to. And they're going to say, oh, I'm pretty good. How are you? Again, it's not about you. It's about them. That's when we say, I'm great. I want to know about you. This is the strongest motivation you could ever create. It's the strongest motivation out there, the motivation that comes from within here. You got me? When you need motivation the most, when things are just going bad all over the place for you, and it doesn't feel like they're going to get better, that's when you have to become the motivation. You have to become the leader. You have to lead the way, set the example by creating a 1% positivity. You got me? And then you got to grow it. You're going to free some space up in your head. You're going to get rid of a lot of those negative self-defeating thoughts because you've done something positive. It's going to start out at 1%, but now it's going to grow. It's going to go to 5% or even 10%. It's going to leave you feeling pretty good, Maybe I think I want to do some more of this. So you're going to call somebody else. Or you're going to maybe start, okay, yeah, I'll do something positive for myself today. Maybe I'll start on my goals or my achievements. Maybe I'll actually go do something, and you're going to smile more. Now you're growing that 1% to 20, 25, 50, 65, 75%. You got it now. You see what I'm saying? All from you creating a 1% positivity. You did that. Visualization is another key piece to this. You can take some time and visualize what you just did that's positive. Also, take some of those negative thoughts that are stacking up on you, the situations that you're facing. I get it, it stacks up. And visualize those things turning out positive. Yeah, it's powerful. What you're doing is you're clearing out some of the negativity up here that we got staying up there because we keep ruminating, we keep thinking about it, and you're replacing those negative thoughts with positivity. Just don't think you have to do it all. You just got to start with that 1%. Remember, you don't have to do it all in one day, but one day can help you do it all. It's so true. So that's the first scenario. That's how we manage the 1% during tough times. Now, what about when things are good? We still have to manage the 1%. Yeah. Because things can be we can be clicking. We can be on a winning streak. Man, we're making a lot of sales. Our health, our workouts are going great. Our relationships are good. Our finances are good. We're putting back money. We're having just overall things just feel great. And then out of nowhere, something challenging pops up. You know what I'm talking about. It can happen so easily. Yes. This is when we've got to also manage the 1%, because that little negative thing that's going to pop up, even though we've had all these consecutive days or months or even a day full of good things, this one little difficult situation pops up, and guess what it's going to do? It's going to take most of our attention. Yeah, even though we have all this positivity, what do? Here's how you do it. We got to keep it. Whatever that negative thing is that pops up in front of you, it starts as 1%. It does. It starts as 1%. We are the ones that grow it by how we're thinking. We ruminate on it. We start thinking, oh, wow, that happened. What else could happen? And here we go. We start stacking things up. It starts as 1%. And if we keep thinking about it, it's going to grow to 5% and 15%. Now it's occupying 25% of our thoughts. You see what I'm saying? We got to get on it. We have to jump on that negative thing immediately and keep it at 1%. We've got to manage the 1% right then, because if it gets too far up, it's going to manage us. You know what I'm talking about. Here's how you do it. Don't wait. When something pops up, everything is going great, and you get this. Maybe it's a difficult conversation you have with somebody. Maybe you showed up at work and you had a production review or performance review and didn't go real well, or you have an unexpected bill that comes due. Maybe, oh man, I don't feel good all of a sudden. Maybe my vehicle's needing a repair all of a sudden. Something I never saw coming. Instead of focusing on that, we're going to balance this out. Okay? Don't forget all the positive things that just happened to you. All the positive things you got going, because we have a tendency to concentrate on this one negative thing, even though all this positivity is in our life. You got to balance it out. To manage that 1%, to keep it at 1%, to keep it from growing, We got to throw all these positive things that have been happening to us, right? There's a lot of things. You have to acknowledge those. Don't put that negativity on a throne like we do. Don't put it on a pedestal. Don't give it too much time, because if you do, you're going to grow it to 15, to 25, to 50%. Now, most of our thoughts up here are full of this one negative thing when we got all these positive things that have been happening to us, right? The other thing you can do to keep it at 1% is when things are really good for you and something pops up that tries to get in your way, knock you off course, think of it as an opportunity to improve. Yeah, let's test what Bobby tells us about commitment and setting goals and taking care of our self-image and our self-worth. Let's apply what he's talking about, and let's balance this out. And how can I improve this not so pleasant thing that popped up? Well, I got to keep in mind all my positivity, but I also can take this negative piece, whether it's a conversation, and learn from it. Learn from it. Careful how you react to it, right? Because it's our reactions that cause that negative 1% to grow and grow and grow. Stress, anxiety, this is how that works. But if we keep that stuff at 1%, what I'm teaching you, your self-confidence, your self-motivation will skyrocket. I'm telling you, because you're gaining control. You're gaining clarity and control. The last thing you can do is visualize. Just like I told you about managing the negative 1%, managing and creating a 1% positivity, visualization is as effective when you're trying to keep something at 1%, a negative 1%. Visualize all the good things that are happening to you. Visualize a pleasant experience. Visualize that specific obstacle that's jumped up in front of you when things are going so well, and visualize it turning out positive. Yeah, visualization is the most underused yet powerful tool we have as humans. Use it. Now let me tell you a story. I had a client. She was in sales, top salesman in the country in the company for several years, and then she faced a very difficult situation. She lost a very big sale. Now, this wasn't just any sale. This is a sale that it was going to make up 75% of her yearly quota, her annual quota. Yeah. She wasn't used to that. And she thought this was a 100% done deal. It didn't happen. She let this thing control her thoughts. That 1% negativity grew, and it consumed a lot of her. She came to me. We talked about it. I said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down all the things that are on your plate, all the things that are bothering you. Man, she made a list. Let me tell you, I think it was like 25 things with her family, her friends, her career, her health, her spirituality, how she felt about herself. That 1%, losing that sale, created all that issues for 6 months. I told her, I looked at the list. I said, pick the least priority. Pick the one that bothers you the least out of this list. She picked it, and I said, okay, that's what we're going to fix. Let's work on that. She's like, well, what about 1, 2, and 3, and 4? Those are the ones that bother me the most. I said, we're going to fix those, but we got to start with this one right here. We're going to start with something we can handle. Guess what? She did it. She did it within a day. And then on top of that, she did 3 or 4 more. Yeah, some of the smaller ones. What happened is she cleared up room in her head. She gained some confidence. She had some positivity. And all she tried to do was manage 1% instead of trying to fix everything at once. Remember? That's what I was telling you. She got the 1%. She had clarity. She had control. She built confidence. Now, did she pay a price? Oh, man. Yeah. She spent 6 months buried in the negative thinking of losing that one sale. And it affected everything about her life for the next 6 months. She was in misery, but we fixed it. And today, what is she doing? Well, she's back on top selling, but she's also teaching other salespeople how to manage the 1%. Now, how's that for a successful story? Yeah, it's good. Look, no matter which type you're trying to manage, as long as you understand it's the 1%, it's not everything you have to do. You just got to manage the 1%. You're going to be 10 times more successful and happier up here, right? That's the ultimate goal. Happiness, right? Let me read a story to you from my 7 books of wisdom. This actually, it's a quote, and there's 3 parts. There's the reality, the plan, and the action. This is actually book 2, Turning Anxiety into Power. Oh, man, it's a good one. This is book 2, lesson 36. I'm going to read a quote. It's real short. It's like 3 minutes for you to do these lessons. Here's the quote. Riding a bull is the easy part. It's the bucking that's the challenge. Yeah. Read it one more time. Riding a bull is the easy part. It's the bucking that's the challenge. Here's the reality. Here's what I'm saying. I've never had the pleasure of riding a bull, although I've been drugged through fields and into fences by a wild steer. I was an FFA, Future Farmers of America, in high school, and I had a particular steer who wasn't so keen on being led around by a rope and standing still while being judged. Oh. He took me on many wild rides with me bouncing off fences, dragging through dirt, and hanging on for dear life at the end of a rope, but I never let go. I should have, but I didn't. The whole idea was to tame this steer where he was almost like a pet, which is what most ended up being, but not this wild-eyed beast. No, sir. What seemed like a good project ended up being a beating for me, my mom, and my sister almost on a daily schedule because they helped me take care of this thing. But we made it through and learned plenty from it. My point for you is this. What may initially seem like an easy task can quickly turn into something painful and challenging. But you have to hang on tight and finish the ride. Commitment. Remember, if you look at some other podcasts, when I talk about the commitment, you commit to effort, not outcome. Effort, not outcome. That's what I'm talking about here. Here's the plan. When a seemingly easy task turns into something more challenging than you initially thought, stick to your guns and regroup. Step back, take a closer look at what you have in front of you, and make plans to address new challenges. Chances are you'll have to make a lot of changes, but that's okay. It's a better option than walking away. Things can become stressful quickly and turn your idea of a smooth ride upside down. And when this happens, hang on tight because the bucking may have just started. Well, isn't that the truth? Here's the action with this particular lesson. If you're dealing with something like this, write it here along with one way you can improvise to help you be successful in dealing with it effectively. So here's what I want you to write down. And if you're listening, I want you to actually do this. Here's the first thing I want you to write down. Write down a current situation that turned out to be more challenging than you thought it was. Okay? Secondly, what's one way you can improvise to better deal with it? A current situation that turned out to be more challenging than you thought it was, and one way you can improvise to better deal with it. Those 2 things. There's 365 quotes in these books. I love them. They're really, really fun. And they do a lot for you in a very small amount of time. Look, when life changes your plans, and it will, it always has, it always will, you're going to need motivation. And the strongest motivation out there is the motivation that comes from within you. Use it. When you're experiencing tough times, manage the 1% by creating a 1% positivity. Don't wait on someone else or something else to motivate you. You have plenty inside of you. Create a 1% positivity. Lead the way. Become the motivation. Become the motivator. Set the example. Go talk to someone. Give somebody a compliment. Create a 1% positivity and watch it grow. On the other side of the coin, when things are going great for you and you're kind of getting used to a lot of good things happening and something negative pops up, manage it right then, immediately. Keep it at 1%. Don't let it grow. Balance it out with all the good, positive things that have been happening for you. Don't give it all your attention. Also, look at it as an opportunity to improve. Yeah, their opportunity has a full-time job working for part-time customers. Yeah, it does. Opportunity to improve. And lastly, visualize. Always visualize, no matter what situation you're facing, visualize positivity. Visualize yourself being successful and victorious over these situations. All of this that I teach you, including all my other podcasts, how to manage yourself, how to be a good self-manager, how to be more positive, how to feel better about life in general, will lead you. If you do these things, you're going to experience something very, very wonderful. You're going to achieve emotional freedom. Emotional freedom is being limitless in confidence, courage, and effort. Now, if you had that, what could you not achieve? Nothing. The whole world will be yours. And I want that for you. And when it happens, I want you to let me know. I'm Bobby Wisnan. Thanks for listening.